Namaste and good morning, everyone. Let's start our Tuesday class with the prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhu Bhavaswaha, Tatsavitra Varenayam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat, Asto Ma Satamya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya, मृत्योर्मा अमृतम गम्य ओम सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सवीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 ओम. Let's open our books, Mahabharat books, on page 234, and this is the 9th day of that war. The sun rises over the remains of the dead on yawning Kurukshetra. Jackals and hyenas have picked the corpse clean. Bare bones shine by first light of day, like fossils on the bed of a dry lake. Duryodhan is full of hope again, this 9th morning of the war. He tells Dushashan, today we will see a long cherished dream fulfilled. Today, my brother, our Pitama has sworn to fight as he has never fought in his life. They have just come out into the crisp morning and, shading their eyes, gaze out across the field at the Pandavs' legions, already deployed. Duryodhan points to Arjun's chariot at the heart of the enemy army. Utmanju guards Arjun's right wheel and Yudhamanyu the left. And look, Arjun himself guards Shikhandi today. They mean to make their attempt on Pitama's life. Dushashan, you must see that Shikhandi never comes near Bhishma. That is all you must devote yourself today. Across the field, Arjun says to Dhrishtadyumna, let Shikhandi take no part in the general fighting. I will watch him with my life today. Let him go after Bhishma. Bhishma forms his legions in the Sarvatobhadra view, which means safe from every side. And so it is, that square formation. As always, Bhishma himself is at the head of the view, and Dushashan has arranged for Trip, Kritavarman, Shakuni, Jayadratha, Kamboj, and 50 of Duryodhan's brothers to protect the Kuru patriarch. The Trigraths form another ring around this inner one. The Pandavas from their legions into another Mandal view. Yudhishthir, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev, and Draupadi's sons are at the very front. Just behind them are Arjun, Dhrishtadyumna, Shikhandi, Ghatotkach, and Chekitan. After these, Abhimanyu, Drupad, and 5 Kake brothers. Bhishma gives the signal conches resound, and the two armies surge at each other. Arrows light up the morning light rays of the rising sun. Swords gleam and clash, and lances drift through the air. Screams ring out over the field as the morning claims its first lives. Soon the killing begins in earnest. Suddenly, the sun climbing into the sky is eclipsed by an uncanny cloud appeared from nowhere. Darkness falls on the field, and from the woods that fringe Kurukshetra, another army howls dismally, an army of jackals and wolves baying at the glow. The underside of their wings pale, vultures wheel into the bizarre twilight. Everywhere the soldiers are terrified and stop fighting. The sinister cloud showers down a rain of fine pebbles on the legions, and all around on the horizon, meteors fall on the earth like fantastic fireworks. Then, and as abruptly as it appeared, the cloud vanishes. The howling beasts run back into the jungle, and the sky is clear and speckless again. This is the dawning of the Kali Yuga. While the others stand rooted by the weird omens, Abhimanyu recovers first and charges the enemy, losing a cloud of his own at them, of arrows. Horses, elephants, and foot soldiers fall to his firestorm, and chariots explode when his incendiary shafts strike them. The omens of earth and air and then Abhimanyu's onslaught are too much for the Kaurav soldiers. They turn and run when the day's fighting has barely begun. Like his grandsire Indra, Abhimanyu shines on Kurukshetra. The jewels on his arms and chest sparkle. His bow is a blur, so it seems that weapon bent in a golden circle is a halo round his beautiful head. Drone and Krip ride at Abhimanyu together. He beats them back with a crescendo of arrows. Ashwathama and Jayadratha attack him from two flanks, but they cannot even approach him this morning. Abhimanyu rules Kurukshetra like a resplendent yam. Duryodhan rides to call Alambus from a far corner of the field. Perhaps the Rakshas's powers will be of some avail against Arjun's son. Alambus comes to the heart of the battle. He fights with Maya. But it seems that Abhimanyu has occult vision, so he sees the demon clearly, even when he is invisible to everyone else. The prince's aim is unerring. Swiftly Draupadi's sons are at Abhimanyu's side, and they too find the Rakshasa with the shafts of flames. Roaring, Alambus grows tall as a palm tree in his chariot. He raises his pale sorcerer's hand above his head and intones an evil mantra. In black tides, his Maya Shakti shrouds the Pandav army in an unnatural light. Abhimanyu loses a Bashkra Astra over the darkling field and light breaks across it again. His Maya dispelled by the weapon of the sun. Alambush stands revealed in his chariot. In fresh rage, Arjun's son and his brothers attack the Rakshas, wounding him sorely. Alambush invokes the Siddhi of Anima. He becomes a little homunculus, leaps out of his chariot unnoticed, and flees. Bhishma rides to challenge his great grandchild, but the prince who bears both Pandav and Yadav blood in his veins is more than a match for his Pitama. Then Arjun is at his son's side and they face the patriarch together. Duryodhan sounds an alarm and 50 of his brothers surround Bhishma. They know that neither Arjun nor Abhimanyu will kill them for Bhim's oath, and they fight marvelously in that certainty. Seeing Arjun and Abhimanyu outnumbered, 3 other Pandavas arrive beside them. A general battle breaks out. Satyaki confronts Acharya Kripa, who fights like a tiger today. The fleet young Yadav is too much for the old master, and after a hot exchange, Satyaki fells Krip in his chariot. Quick as wishing, Ashwathama is at his uncle's side, beating Satyaki back. The Vrishni recovers from the unexpected assault and breaks Ashwathama's bow in his hands. Meanwhile, Krip's Sarthi has ridden off the field to safety. Ashwathama seizes up another bow and takes the fight back to Satyaki. He loses an astra that could shear the peak of a mountain, struck squarely in his chest. Satyaki falls unconscious. In a moment, he jumps up again and fights in such a fury now that, fearing for his son's life, Drona rushes up to draw the Yadav's fire, like Buddha and a Shukra battling. Satyaki and Drona duel. The Kuru Acharya covers Satyaki in a blaze of arrows. In fury that he attacked his precious son, taken unawares by the master's ferocity, Satyaki is beaten back. In a flash, Arjun is at his side, matching his guru shaft for shaft, holding him off. For a while, master and pupil fight as if they mean to settle a hatred they have nurtured for years. In the mandal of war, it seems Drona does not see Arjun, his favorite Shishya, before him, but only an enemy. And so too Arjun no longer sees his guru, but a dangerous adversary. Their archery is a holy offering. Seeing his Kshatriya so determined, Krishna exults. From a way off, Duryodhan watches the duel with concern. He is anxious lest Drishtam ride to help Arjun. The encounter between Guru and Shishya is the converse of two sublime artists. They are like gods speaking together about the mysteries of the universe. Hardly anyone else on that field can decipher their communion. They exchange their very lives and winged shafts. Soul brushes soul. Often Drona laughs aloud in delight at the frenzied, delicate volley from Arjun. Once the master flings up his arms, crying, "How you have grown, Arjun! No one on earth could have taught you that." Arjun bows to Drona. Then the Gandiv hums again its deep songs. At times, Arjun's archery is such a sacred thing. There are tears in his master's eyes. The Shishya is his spiritual son, who is now clearly his guru's equal and frequently his superior. Drona cries, "Today I learn from you, Arjun." Yet these two also grieve that they must fight each other. Arjun thanks fate that among the crimes he must commit on this field, killing his acharya is not one. With reverence, the disciple attacks his master, and with the transcendent elegance. Arjun invokes Vayu, the wind god, and loses a Vaivastra at Drona. A towering gale sweeps across Kurukshetra, and the Kaurav soldiers are blown about like straws. His chariot caught in the eye of the storm, his horses rearing, Drona summons a sailors. Arjun's tempest dies in a moment. The duel between master and pupil swells into the esoteric realm of Devastras. Around them, the Trigruts run in stark fear. Meanwhile, away off, Duryodhan and a host of his Kshatriyas surround Bhisham in a tight crescent of protection. The Pitama faces the other Pandavas. Directly before him is Yudhishthir, and the Kuru patriarch fights him most intensely. From his side, Bhim leaps down from his chariot, mace in hand, and rushes at Bhishma with a roar. At once, Duryodhan's elephant legion, detailed to guard Bhishma against such an attack, comes between the son of the wind and his grandsire. Far from being put out, Bhim roars louder than ever and sets about the huge beasts. Some he strikes down, even as they charge him with lowered tusks. He fells each one with a single blow of his mace, smashing their lofty temples. Others he attacks from side and rear. At times he even leaps up onto their necks, then kills the warriors perched there, knocking them off disdainfully. Before he beats the animals to their knees, some with their trunks cut off by his sword fell screeching like mortally wounded birds, like his brother's Vaiva Astra, like a fell wind of the natural father. Bhim destroys Duryodhan's elephant legion. Quickly, the level field of Kurukshetra resembles a land of hillocks with the carcasses of the Kaurav tuskers, and it is beautiful. The elephants that escape Bhim turn and crash away, trampling the soldiers of their own army. Meanwhile, even as he promised Duryodhan the previous night, Bhishma makes his bow sing on Kurukshetra. Indeed, no one has ever seen him fight as he does today. Even Drona stares. Bhishma summons supernatural power today. He fights like the Vasu he was before this human life. He is Ganga's son again, who dammed her swirling waters with his arrows once a life ago. Seeing the Kuru ancient, Drishtadhyuman calls his forces to combine against the Pitama. Shikhandi, Virat, Drupad, and all the Pandavas together cover Bhishma with 1,000 shafts. These never reach him, or his horses or Sarthi, not one barb. They fall around his gleaming chariot like a rain of flowers. In grave calm, Bhishma continues his decimation of Yudhishthir's army. Bhim and Satyaki join the battle to no avail. Each moment, 100 more Pandav soldiers die on Kurukshetra, everyone killed by an arrow from Bhisham's bow. Dread grips the Pandav army. The bravest men run from the Kuru patriarch's cool wrath. It seems that all the other Kshatriyas on the field are numb spectators to the old warrior's blood ritual. He is so calm and he is elemental. He has no need of his legion's insignificant prowess. It seems that by himself Bhishma will wipe the Pandav army from the face of the earth. Yudhishthir and the sons of. Seeing that king plunge at his brothers, Bhim dashes to their side. The four Pandavas defy Shalya and his legion. Away to their right, Bhisham has broken Arjun's shackles. Once more, he sweeps the Pandav legions before him. It seems the climbing sun fuels his wrath. Blood splashes everywhere in harsh noonlight, and the screams of those Bhisham kills are an eerie song on that field. Krishna cries to Arjun, Bhisham will kill every soldier in your army except you 5 sons of Pandu. You must save those that have come to risk their lives for you. I will ride at Bhisham, kill him now. But then sorrow is upon the Pandav. He says, how I hate to fight my blood. Of what use is the kingdom we win by slaying our king? I would rather go to hell than live in a world worse than hell. Krishna favors him with a glare. Arjun says, but it is too late to think of all that now. Ride at my Pitama, Krishna. I will do what I can. When they see Arjun's chariot fly to face Bhishma, a hopeful shout goes up from the Pandav army. Arjun's first arrow cuts down Bhisham's banner, so it falls over him. The next clutch breaks the bow in the Kuru elder's hands. Quick as thinking, Bhishma snatches up another. With absolute genius, Arjun breaks that weapon as well. Bhisham stands unarmed and vulnerable for a moment. At that critical instant, Arjun's fingers waver at his bowstring. His arrow whistles harmlessly past his grandfather's ears. In a wink, Bhisham has another bow in his hands and fights again. Once more, he not only engages Arjun, but kills a Pandav soldier with every other shaft. 100 flare from his bow each moment. Arjun's response to his relucent archery is pathetic. Krishna watches this for a while. Then, without a word, he flings his reins aside and leaps down from the chariot head. Once more, the Sudarshan Chakra blazes over his hand, and he stalks grimly towards Bhishma, with the battle all around fallen still. Soldiers shrink from Krishna. His wrath is a cosmic rictus, as if the galaxies with their limitless fires twitched in anger on his blue face. Among the Pandav soldiers, a tumultuous whisper of joy flashes. Bhishma is slain. They breathe among themselves like a sea. Bhishma smiles radiantly at the terrible Dark One advancing on him. It seems all the killing he did on Kurukshetra was just to provoke this rage from Krishna, so he could die at the avatar's hands. Bhishma folds his palms together and cries in an ecstasy to the incarnation, come, Lord, kill me now. There is nothing in all the worlds I would rather have than death at your hands. He raises his bow. I offer you a Kshatriya's worship before you kill me. The world will know that Devrat was not only the most unfortunate man on earth, but the luckiest one as well, for Narayan killed him with his own hands. Come, Lord. He is begging Krishna. All this has taken just a moment while Arjun stands petrified in his chariot. Krishna raises his hand higher, the chakra flaming over it. He takes another step forward. Then with a cry, Arjun falls out of his chariot. In a moment yawned wide as a life, he flings himself at Krishna, clasping his knees. At that critical moment, Arjun's voice fails him. His throat is dry as deserts. Krishna growls dreadfully. He does not look down at the warrior clinging to his legs, but tries to shake free of the Pandav. The blue guard's body glows with cold light, and strange sounds come from him, like the hissing of an unimaginable hamlet. Then the frantic Arjun finds his voice. My lord, I beg you, do not do this. You name